So, like I say, no. Well, I mean, yes, in a way. The Belfast and Irish people, like I say, were one of the best building crews that I ever worked with and ever had paid. And they're one of the most honest and most capable. And like I said, if I just had my Belfast crew, I could have gone to space. I could have done whatever I wanted to do, and then some. Those Irish workers in that steel yard building those ships, they were quite capable. With just a few German scientists, I could have done whatever I wanted to do. Anything. Like I said, a lot of, like the Irish people would say, we're no slouches. It's like, no, you're not. No, you're one of the best building crews I ever had, and you built quite a few cities yourself. You should be damn proud. You were really good. You were easily at least as good as a lot of the others. Anyway, so, and like I say, I was proud to call to call you my people and my employees. Very good steel workers, very good everything. Everything was top quality. Everything was done on schedule, on time almost. There were a few times when the Irish people got a little bit behind, but you know, like I said, a lot of people thought that because the Irish people wouldn't get things done on time, or that I would be like, and I was like, no, no, it's fine. They can take longer. Like I said, when you've worked with a crew before or whatever, and you know that they're experts and you know they're that good, then it's like, yeah, whatever. Like I said, I completely trusted my Irish crew, and my people in Ireland and Belfast. I knew that everything would be done top quality and, you know, whenever it was humanly possible or possible to do so, which they did. You know, they kept the cost low. They worked really hard, even harder than they probably should have, and they built my ships. So, and built a lot of ships, as I say. So anyway, yeah, like like they say, blah blah blah, only a few blah blah. It's like no, no, no. They built a lot of ships there, and we just updated. At some point in time, like I said, I kept updating everyone. I kept on like, okay, let's go ahead. When my scientists would come up with something new, I'd be like, okay, let's start doing this at this shipyard. Let's get that shipyard updated. And so I updated a lot of shipyards, but I owned half the shipyards in the world, so I just kind of cut back some more, and you know, and I don't really do that stuff anymore. I did some stuff during the war and blah blah and besieged, and like I said a couple times, he was like, "Oh my lord, all the ships!" It's like, yep. Well, most of them swore allegiance to me or swore allegiance to something at some point, so I could have had a country floating at sea. If you had lashed all my ships together or all the ships together, it would have made a huge island of nothing but ships. So, thousands. I think I had like 1,700 or 1,500 of all the ships in the ocean, and some of the biggest. So, at one time, some of the Irish people might have been like, "Yeah, well, he just owns like a third or half the ships in all the oceans and some of the biggest." I was like, "Yes, I love you too." Yeah. So anyway, that's why I was doing my own rules when they took down female rights, or they're trying to do this, trying to do that. I was like, no. So that's why Lucifer White Star declared its independence as a corporation and a person and whatever. But like I said, I think we quickly took back America or something like that, because it's my country. So anyway, and everything was fine. So it's not just that America is immigrants. It's that America is actually my country, where my rules and my laws and my wills are enforced. It's for a white star. Line. Line! So anyway. I'm just like, oh, someday I'll die. I don't know when. I try not to sound like Jimmy Carter. He was so annoying. You should have seen him. He'd get all into it and do his preaching stuff. And it's like, anyway, though. And like I said, people thought blah, 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 blah from Jimmy Carter because he had all these other people working for him and, forcing people to do things for him. like I said, that's why, a bunch of people came to me, or a bunch of people got as powerful or whatever, and actually got in my way. Like Richard Nixon really thought that I'd be dead any minute now, or that you know, he had the winning card, the winning score, and he was going to do it, and it was going to be fine, just because he was living in the White House or something like that, or whatever. It's like, once you get into the White House, you got it made. It's like, maybe in my employment, but no, just because you're in the White House, just because you're in Washington, D.C., doesn't really give you any particular power other than maybe what you might be asking my troops to do. But other than that, it's still their decision to follow you or not to follow you. Like I said, or you can do as Africa and just kill your own cabinet, I guess, which is what a lot of them did. If the military wasn't aligned with them or whatever, or thought they were crazy, they would simply kill people and then hire new ones or something, or hire people that would, or get people that would. And it's like, well, yeah, you just killed the best strategist and the best military in the world, and oh well. So these people were like, they would do well for a minute, and then, you know, because I don't know what they're trying to do. Like I said, that's why I tell my Belfast people, and sometimes, sometimes they were just football players, like trying to do wars and stuff like that. I was like, kind of, I guess, not really. I don't know. Like I said, I even had to use football players, but like I said, I always did better because because I'm me. So even if I send a football coach to do something, like they'd probably usually do better, except for one or two cases. But they were outgunned and out whatever, and just defending a town or something like that. But I don't know. But there was a lot of situations where, like I say, they were just really just going and they'd be like blah 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 blah, and then just lying to me or just whatever. And like I said, they thought that, but it's like, well, my life forms see it, and they're like, yeah. Anyway, so whatever. That's why everything went basically, except for all the little lies and the fake, like maneuvering, fake having money, fake. And it's just inflation and ones and zeros. After I'm dead, oh well. A lot of things happen in my existence, and a lot of things happen. And then, oh well, I guess the bigger, and a lot of people and a lot of people were just waiting for certain people to die, natural causes to deal with them. It's like, well, a lot of things in the universe can wait for you to die. You're only gonna live like 34 or 150 years or so, and then you'll be dead. And oh well. That's why a lot of people like there's a lot of 80-year-olds and 90-year-olds and 200-year-olds that are like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, kids? What are you talking about? No, it wasn't like that. Because like 2 or 3 generations ago, they were doing their lie, and they're this and they're that, and they're like, and it was like the lie that the president wanted to put towards you, or something like that. I don't really know. Like I said, every world leader had their own little like, and it's like, yeah, well, whatever. You can blame it on Richard Nixon, John McCain, like I said, and all of them. They're trying really hard to basically force people to whatever. So yeah, and that's why schools and everyone else, like some people don't even go to school or whatever. They just get the books and just do the math and science. Because it has no, history. It's not even worth, like, that's just the current lie that that teacher or that whatever, is presenting. Like each fake president would teach his own little version, like, like Abraham Lincoln for Amish land or whatever was preaching his own little thing or teaching his own little thing, and they're saying everybody was doing like these little like whatevers, and it's like, well, yeah, well, if you only live 34 to 150 years or 200 years, then it doesn't really matter. It doesn't, and you're never going to know or be able to see the universe enough in 34 years or 70 years to actually really know anything about the universe. So some people would call me the great teacher, or like, but they were trying to make it like Jimmy Carter, and like they were trying to make all these people like they'd be like, yeah, he's the great teacher, and pointing to one of their people, and their people, wasn't the great teacher or anything, or more than they were just trying to whatever. Like I said, the space shuttles are really old. They're really, really old. We built the new one, but they never used it because they already had the old one. So, and they just decided it was more cost effective to use the old one, which is less efficient than the new one would have been. Or maybe they decided to use the new one for secret missions. There's all these idiots. Like saying, yeah, the big easy. Yeah, that guy over there in California, yeah, he invented fiberglass. Yeah, he invented the first fiberglass aircraft. Yeah, he did, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, he didn't. It was Germany, and it was way over there and long, long, long ago. But like I said, Rodney and a bunch of other people were trying to pretend like they, blah, blah, Rodney was doing his old, Brian, your chip off the old block. Brian, your chip off the old block. It's like, so I tell you that they're watching me and watching us, so you're like playing up to them, basically. It's like, and so, it's like, then like I say, Rick Bush is like, well, as long as we're in power in the future, blah, blah, blah. And, they have all those people that they're planning on being power in the future, so no one else know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, and then, like I say, then at some point in time, Richard Nixon's just chopping off arms, and he even goes on camera and say, yeah, well, I chopped off the left arm, I chopped off the right arm, because I talked to Richard Nixon, and I was like, well, if you tell him the truth, if you tell the truth publicly on TV, then I might not torture you. And he knew damn well that I was going to torture him. Or he was going to get tortured for everything he did. If he didn't, do everything I said. So, because he had been around that long and seen that much. And he knew damn well that it was going to, that it was coming for him. So that's why he goes on camera and goes, well, I chopped off the left arm and then we chopped off the right arm. And he was just like, he was already 80 years old and already had this secret plan to blow up the whole world anyway, already in the works. So it was going to happen regardless of whether or not after he died, missiles were going to launch. So they had already done all these secret things. So even if he was in the White House, it would still happen. So, what did it matter? So he just told the whole world that he chopped off the left arm, he chopped off the right arm. And then, and they cut the feed real quick. Cut the feed. What are you doing? He was just admitting the whole thing. Because I had told him that if he didn't admit it, And it's like, well, 1,000 years of torture versus admitting the whole thing. So, like I said, a bunch of people were trying to kill him because, he was ruining it for them. But, like I said, no one understood that they were going to blow up the whole world anyway. So, and he knew that I was whatever, and I would torture him. I would have him tortured for thousands of years, or whatever was going to be coming for him. Didn't die and would be torturing him. He knew damn well that if he didn't admit it, that. So to him, he was like, "Fuck it." He wasn't. It's like, torture for 1,000 years or a couple hundred years, physical torture for a couple 100,000 years, and being put into a with a feeding tube, where there's no escape, no nothing, by a life form, and being held by a life form that doesn't feel, doesn't have emotions, and doesn't care or think that much, and just writes down what's happening. Versus telling the truth to the world. So that's why he did that. So, because he had been around that long. And he knew. So anyway, yeah. It's all very interesting.